While America argues about who makes the best tech or cars, a country smaller than Colorado is quietly controlling industries worth billions, and most Americans have no idea. New Zealand. Population? 5 million, less than the state of Alabama. Land size? It ranks 75th globally, wedged between the UK and Ecuador. Yet this tiny nation in the Pacific dominates 5 critical industries that touch your life daily. You've probably used their products this week without knowing it. From the movies you watch to the food you eat, from military equipment to agricultural genetics, New Zealand plays a hidden hand in global markets worth tens of billions. And number 5? It'll make you question everything you thought you knew about global power. But wait, before we begin, please hit the subscribe button to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential videos. Please like and drop your comments below, and I will welcome you to our community. With that said, let's get started. Industry number 5. Film production infrastructure. Hollywood's biggest secret? They don't film in Hollywood anymore. Let me hit you with this. 6 of the top 10 highest-grossing films of the last decade used New Zealand studios, effects houses, or locations. The Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogies. The Planet of the Apes films. Multiple Marvel blockbusters. All of them, at least partially made in New Zealand. Meet James Chin. He's a 34-year-old producer based in LA who used to shoot everything in California. Union costs, permit fees, location restrictions, his budgets were hemorrhaging cash. In 2021, he moved production to Wellington for an indie sci-fi film. The result? He cut costs by 40%. Plus, New Zealand's government rebate covered 25% of his production expenses. His movie got made. It premiered at Sundance. And James? He hasn't filmed in the US since. Here's the authority moment. Wellington is home to Weta Workshop and Weta Digital, the special effects powerhouses founded by Peter Jackson. They've created the effects for Avatar, The Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes, Blade Runner 2049. We're talking $500 million in annual revenue. But it's not just one company. New Zealand's entire film industry grew by 436% between 2013 and 2023, according to the New Zealand Film Commission report from 2023. Think about that for a second. That Marvel movie you streamed last month? Filmed in Auckland. That fantasy series you binged? Wellington. That sci-fi epic that blew your mind? Queenstown. But film effects are child's play compared to what they control in agriculture. Industry number 4, dairy genetics and breeding. Your morning milk? There's a 1 in 3 chance it came from a cow with New Zealand DNA. I'm serious. A company called LIC, Livestock Improvement Corporation, supplies genetic material to over 50 countries. We're talking about breeding programs, frozen semen, embryos, the whole scientific operation. And the scale? They export 4 million straws of bull semen annually. That's valued at over $120 million, according to their 2024 annual report. Let me introduce you to Carlos Martinez. He runs a 300-cow dairy farm in Wisconsin. For years, his herd was average, decent milk production, but high vet bills, constant health issues. In 2019, a rep convinced him to try New Zealand genetics. Within 2 breeding cycles, his milk production jumped 18%. Vet costs dropped 23%. His cows lived longer, stayed healthier, and needed less intervention. Carlos now swears by it. It's like upgrading from a Honda to a Lexus, he told me. Same function, way better performance. Here's why it works. New Zealand dairy cows produce 30% more milk per animal than the US average, according to a 2023 comparison between USDA data and Dairy NZ research. They've spent over 100 years selectively breeding for efficiency, disease resistance, and grass-fed adaptability. Imagine this, a cow in Wisconsin that's never seen New Zealand grass, yet carries DNA designed in Kiwi pastures over a century of rigorous selection. That's the power of genetic dominance. But cows can't sail across oceans. And what New Zealand builds for that journey? That's industry number 3. Industry number 3. Marine propulsion systems. Every third superyacht slicing through Mediterranean waters runs on engines most people have never heard of. Hamilton Jet, a New Zealand company that controls 35% of the global water jet propulsion market. They don't make traditional propellers. They make water jet systems that suck water in and blast it out at high pressure. It's faster, more efficient, and works in shallow water where props would snap. The scale is staggering. Over 60,000 vessels worldwide use Hamilton Jet systems, from Navy SEAL boats to superyachts worth $50 million. I spoke with Admiral Sarah Rollins, retired U.S. Navy. She told me why the Navy switched to Hamilton Jets in 2016 for certain special operations craft. 30% faster acceleration. 40% better fuel efficiency in shallow water operations. And near silent running at low speeds. When U.S. Special Forces need silent, fast infiltration into hostile coastlines, they trust a company from a country with no aircraft carriers. Founded in 1954 by Bill Hamilton, a farmer who wanted a better way to navigate New Zealand's shallow rivers, it now exports to over 120 countries and generates more than $200 million annually, according to their 2024 company profile. But here's the twist: from water to something you touch every single day. Because industry number 2? It's sitting in your pocket right now. Wait, no, I'm messing with you. It's not in your pocket. But it's everywhere else. Industry number 2, electric fence technology. 2.4 billion animals worldwide are contained by technology invented in one New Zealand garage in 1956. Gallagher Group. If you've ever driven past a ranch, visited a farm, or seen livestock grazing peacefully behind a single wire, you've probably seen their work. They control 35 to 40% of the global electric fence market and operate in over 160 countries. But it's not just farms. Airports use Gallagher fences for wildlife control, keeping deer and birds off runways. Prisons use them for perimeter security. Solar farms use them to protect multi-million-dollar equipment from vandalism. Let me tell you about Kenya. In 2020, the Kenya Wildlife Service installed Gallagher fences around villages near elephant migration routes. Human-elephant conflict, where elephants destroy crops and occasionally kill people, dropped by 91%. Over 3 years, it's estimated that these fences saved over 200 human lives and protected countless elephants from retaliatory killings. Gallagher generates over $300 million in annual revenue, employs 600+ people, and their technology is in use from Texas cattle ranches to African wildlife reserves, according to their 2023 annual report. Here's the origin story. Bill Gallagher was a New Zealand farmer in the 1950s. His fences kept breaking. Cows kept escaping. So he built an electric fence charger in his garage. It worked so well that neighbors asked him to make them one. Then another. Then another. Now, his invention protects humans and animals on 6 continents. But all of this, film, dairy, boats, fences, none of it compares to industry number 1. Because this one literally changed how the entire world eats. And you've definitely consumed it. Industry number 1, kiwi fruit cultivation and marketing. One company, one fruit, $3 billion in annual sales. And they control 30% of the global market. Zespri. By New Zealand law, they are the only company allowed to export kiwi fruit from New Zealand, except to Australia. It's a legal monopoly. And it's wildly successful. Here's the kicker. 90% of kiwi fruit sold worldwide comes from New Zealand genetics, even if it's grown in Italy, Chile, or France. That's Sungold kiwi you bought at Whole Foods? The variety is owned by Zespri. The farmer who grew it pays royalties to New Zealand. Let me introduce you to Maria Gonzalez. She's a third-generation fruit farmer in northern Italy. For decades, her family grew apples and pears, decent income, but nothing special. In 2018, she switched to growing Zespri's Sungold kiwi fruit variety. Within 2 years, her income tripled. But here's the catch. She pays Zespri a licensing fee for every kilogram she produces. And she can only sell to Zespri-approved distributors. It's expensive, Maria admitted. But the demand is insane. People pay premium prices. And Zespri's marketing is so strong that buyers trust the brand. Here are the numbers. Zespri is valued at $4.2 billion. They supply over 50 countries. Their Sungold variety took 15 years and $40 million to develop, according to their 2024 impact report. New Zealand has just 2,800 kiwi fruit growers, yet they control 30% of a global market worth over $10 billion annually. Think about that. A fruit named after their national bird became a billion-dollar weapon of soft power. That sweet tart burst in your mouth? Engineered in New Zealand labs. That golden flesh? 15 years of selective breeding. That premium price? Controlled distribution. The bigger picture. Notice something? Not tech. Not oil. Not finance. New Zealand dominates through a formula most countries ignore. Innovation in niche markets. First mover advantage. Relentless quality control. And small size equals agility. Silicon Valley tries to disrupt everything. New Zealand? They perfect one thing, then own it for decades. 5 million people. 0 billionaire tech founders. Yet they control what you film with, eat with, sail with, farm with, and protect with. So here's what I want to know. Would you rather live in a country that tries to dominate everything, or one that picks 5 things and becomes utterly irreplaceable? Drop a comment. Which industry shocked you most? And what industry should I investigate next? Because sometimes the quietest player in the room is running the whole game.